everyone, it's Tracy. I am so glad to be back. I finally feel like I am myself again. So what I have done here is I pulled out a couple photos of those little twins. They're my niece's girls, and I just think that they are so cute. And I am using a sketch that we are using over at the Rediscover Your Stash. And for the month of June, there was a freeze on spending, and there was all kinds of challenges and incentives, for us to use our stash. So that's what I did. I went through my papers, and you saw some things that were from Echo Park. I think there were some stickers, and I'll end up using those. So, well, let me go back to the sketch. So the sketch was from the Rediscover Your Stash, and I apologize. I'm not quite sure who did the sketch, but you see it at the beginning of this video, and it was a very fun thing to do, and it would been, ideal to use, those, branding strips, but I usually use those pretty quick. I don't usually have a bunch laying around. I know some people kind of collect them, but I try to go through those pretty fast because they end up getting bent, and then they end up getting trashed, and that's no good. So I didn't want to, I don't like to save them. So what I've done is I went through my collection, and I had gotten my kits from Click Kits. So there are some new papers in there. Now for my Click Kits, those are kind of behind, and it's only because I had asked, Erica to hold them for me, and then I got them, well, when I first got back from my trip. So this was the first time I was able to use them, and then I just used the strips, and I'm like, "Oh," but I don't care. I wanted to make sure that I got them used. It didn't matter to me. I just get to the point where I have so much stuff that if I end up using a strip of something, there is always going to be a beautiful paper to replace it next month or next week. So I'm just going to use it how I see fit, and I'm just going to go with that. We will see how long that lasts. So anyway, so the strips are different lengths, and I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have all the lights together. I try to have some contrast between the light color strips and the darker ones. Um, they are, like I said, that they are like different widths, and I'm kind of a rule follower, so I'm really looking close at that sketch, and I want the zigzag to go where it is on this sketch, and the scallop to go where it is on this sketch, to make sure that they're the proper length. Now, on the sketch itself, it does have 2 photos, but I think they're more 4 by 4, and these are 3 by 4. But that is close enough to me. And then there's elements that run down, they kinda sprinkle down on the right side of these strips. So, I end up using, quite a bit of, chipboard, and I did get that from, Freckle Fawn. They have some awesome products. I am very happy. I don't belong to their kit, but whenever I go to order from them, I am always so happy with what I receive. Even if it's a blooper, I don't see the bloop in it. So I will gladly order blooper, except that when they say, you will receive duplicates, I don't know if I want all of that because I already have enough stash. I just want to use it up and move on. All right, so the together that I put up there, that is navy. It kinda looks black, but it is navy, and I just wanna make sure that I've got it, kind of balanced with the photos and the strips there, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put with the together. I want some sort of, always together. There was some things that I was thinking about, but nothing was really, coming to my mind. So as I'm looking around and looking at these sticker sheets, now those are from Echo Park, and I I'm looking for embellishments. I love the flowers. I'm putting the flowers down in the bottom left corner, so it's kind of a little embellishment, section down there to kinda offset the busyness of the center of this page. Looking again more at the stickers, just looking at all the different words that can go with the together because it's pretty limitless. So I end up doing this one, which is simply sweet together. I find this a little ironic or kind of maybe that's not true. My niece could probably tell me. She's told me in the past that they kind of keep her busy, kind of a handful, which, they're 4. They definitely have strong personalities. Yeah, they're they're precious. They are they're really fun. I don't know how to describe, 4-year-olds are always fun, but they have tons of personality, as you can see. The photos that I have for them are always so different. They're pretty spunky. Anyway, I I just love them to pieces. So, instead of using foam tape or those foam sheets, which I despise, I am using cardboard to add some dimension to my photos. And so there's like 2 layers of cardboard on one and just one on the other. You can't hardly tell. It's minimal. I think I'd have to have 3 or 4 layers of cardboard for it to really stand out, but it's okay. And before I did all that, sometimes I do my sprinkling of um, of the mixed media after I put my photos down, but I thought, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do it before I put the photos down." So you saw me do that already. And I'm not the best at lining things up, making them straight. So using that T ruler, which is, gosh, is one of the best investments. It is so inexpensive for that T ruler. I have 2 actually. I am so glad I have those because I really need them, and I've used both of them at the same time, so I'm glad I have 2 of them. And I know I got my most recent one I got at Hobby Lobby. The other one I think I ordered online, maybe at scrapbook.com, but the heavy duty one that's more heavy duty, if I can say it right, is the one I got at Hobby Lobby. Now, the adhesive that I use on my pages, I normally do my paper on paper. I use my ATG gun, and I know a lot of people don't like it, but I absolutely love mine. I only have one problem with it, and I hardly ever have to deal with it, is when I go to open it, it's a little tricky. I don't know why it's this way. It doesn't make any sense. Just I don't understand it. And then the other thing that I use is I use that fine line, bottle of it has wet glue in it, and it is a Scotch Quick Dry, or I think they call it what is it called now? It's called Tacky Glue. I add a little bit of water to it, just a tad, not much, and it thins it down so that it goes through the fine line, needle, applicator really, really well. Now, when it comes to putting down a chipboard, an absolute must is the liquid glue. You, uh, you really need to do that or you'll end up with the chipboard at the bottom of your page protector in a couple of years. And as I look back at some of the pages that I had made years ago that had a little bit of height to it or is a little bit heavy, yeah, I'm having to go back and glue them down with some wet glue. I think back then I was even using a glue stick or I was using, photo tabs, if anybody knows what those are. Okay, now that little pink, it's a tag and it's chipboard, and it is from that little, oh, what am I trying to say? The chipboard thing that I got from, Freckle Fawn. I wanted to have a little bit of pink up here at the top, and that's where it ended up going, and then as I'm putting items down there on the right side, there's a couple of hearts, a couple of stars, um, the sun says "shine on it. And then down at the bottom left, uh, the little green thing, label says, sundresses, which is true, is what they are. Now, one of my favorite things that I Well, I always do. I say 99% of the time is I put sequins on. And my sequins usually come from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And I use Distress Collage Medium to glue them on. And I use my tweezers. I dip them in the medium and then put them on my page. To me, that is the best way to put them on. I've tried the little glue dots that those are way too messy for me and they take too long. Anyway, so here it is towards the end of my video. There are still shots at the end. And if you loved it, if you liked it, if you'll give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, I hope you would consider doing that. All right, until next time, I will see you. Okay, bye bye.